Eldritch horror is a subgenre that emphasizes on the fear of the unknowable, incomprehensible, and unearthly. Often thought to have been created by Howard Philip Lovecraft, also known as H.P. Lovecraft, he was most famous for works such as Call of Cthulhu, Dagon, The Color Out of Space, The Shadow over Innsmouth, and the Dunwich Horror. This genre is often paired with thalassophobia, which is the intense, persistent fear of deep, vast, or dark bodies of water, including oceans and lakes, often rooted in the fear of the unknown or what lies beneath the surface. Both fears play off of the primal fear of human insignificance. Dredge is a game that does a very good job at playing into both of these genres while still maintaining a relaxed experience. In this game, you play as a fishing captain who is attempting to unravel the dark mysteries of the fictional version of the Archipelago. All the while, you will be upgrading your ship, dredging up old treasures, and running from eldritch abominations. Before we get too far talking about the game itself, I do think we should discuss Released in 2023, Dredge was the debut game for Black Salt Games, a small, 4-person indie dev team out in New Zealand. The original thought from the game was to have a top-down, turn-based game, not featuring minigames, and a light story. The different islands you would go to were supposed to represent different stages of grief, those being denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And this was to be shown through the different characters that you would meet on each island. The idea for light story very much did not stick. However, they did still use the stages of grief to base each area that you would end up going to. After realizing that the story was going to be an important part of the game, the team implemented a few rules for themselves when writing the dialogue. 1. Don't use more than 4 to 5 text boxes in a row. 2. Keep each text box between 3 to 4 lines, and each text box should do 3 things. Tell the player what they're doing, advance the story or world, and most importantly, be creepy. After playing the game, I can say without a shadow of a doubt, they did all of those in a spectacular manner. I am also very happy that they did not go with a turn-based style game. Not to say that there's any issues with turn-based games. This game, however, very much benefited from the open world exploration style approach, although I feel like I can better explain my point if we talk about Earlier, I mentioned that you play as a fishing captain. What I didn't mention, however, is that your boat gets destroyed along the way. You get brought back to shore and set up with a new boat in a nearby town. They explain that you don't own the boat, but you can use it until you pay it off. And they plan on taking a little bit off of each of your hauls until it's fully paid for. So, for a quick recap, you're starting in a tiny boat that isn't even yours, you have massive debt, and your pay gets docked. Anyway, so ignoring the average North American college student start to life that is the beginning of this game, they send you on your way. At this point, you really have access to explore as you wish. However, you move really slow and you have a tiny inventory space, so you probably won't get super far. In fact, getting over to the other side of the channel takes most of the day. But that doesn't last for long once you pay off your debt and you get some money in your pocket. The game then introduces you to the shipwright and dry dock. This is where you can upgrade your ship from just a tiny skiff to a large trawler. Speaking of upgrading your ship, I did want to mention that during my playthrough I was playing on the complete edition, so I did have access to further upgrades that the base game does not offer. I will also say the DLC really did add a lot to the game, from oil spills to an entire ice region that felt like it was inspired by the story of At the Mountains of Madness. Now, I hear you asking, Dingus, wasn't this supposed to be about gameplay? All you've really said is that you can upgrade your ship and your pay gets docked. Is that really it? And the reason I haven't really talked about the actual gameplay itself is because it's mostly, well, fishing minigames and inventory management. But that isn't what really makes this game shine. Any game can make a grid-style inventory manager and throw together some fishing minigames, but not all games have cool-looking fish, diverse ecosystems, and eldritch horrors that will eat you boat and all. Also, for me at least, I know I really enjoyed showing up to port and selling my haul and seeing my money go up. As some of my friends would ever so elegantly put it, big number makes smooth brain go burr. There is also more to the game than just fishing minigames. Exploring is a huge part of this game. Most missions boil down to, hey, I need this object or fish, go find it. And it's the go find it part that's the fun part. This game really took the saying, it's not the destination, it's the journey, to heart. You'll go from the vast open ocean to coral reefs to a dense swamp to even a volcano area. Each area will also have new fish to catch, new NPCs to meet, and most importantly, new This to me was hands down the coolest part of the whole game. It was what made me want to keep playing and had me excited to see what came next. From the fish you bring onto your boat to the leviathans that want to eat or attack it, they all have fantastic designs. The art style of the game really helped drive this home, as everything feels just slightly off, so when you bring something that looks like this onto your ship, it just makes sense, as horrifying as that can be. Truth be told, it was the designs that kept me going back to the same fishing locations to see what new abominations I could dredge up from the deep. The bigger abominations were the real scary ones, however. They always came out of nowhere and had me freaking out trying to find the best way to get as far away as possible, all the while still trying to get a good look at them because their designs were just awesome. From a giant stingray to a glowing shark, and even something that resembles Godzilla. And these were just the ones you could run into out in the open ocean. That hasn't even begun to touch the ones you could find in specific locations. Now, I don't want to show off too much because that was half the fun of the game, and I don't want to ruin it for anyone who hasn't played and is planning to. So I guess that really leaves us with the big question of what did I think of the game and would I recommend it? I'm sure by now you can tell from how I've been talking about the game, I loved this game. Eldritch horror is one of my favorite styles of horror, and this game just scratches that itch in my brain for it. From abominations to NPCs and even just the general vibe of the game, it was all expertly crafted to have an eldritch horror experience with fishing elements. Now, I normally go over NPCs in my video, and truth be told, I feel like that would have taken away from the mystery and excitement of what's going on whenever you get to new locations in the game. With that being said, what I can say about them is that a big part of eldritch horror is that if somebody even starts to understand the incomprehensible, it shatters their minds. Almost like if an ant were to begin to understand a cell phone. To us, it's just part of the mundane, but to an ant, that would shatter their understanding of reality. The reason I bring this up is because you end up meeting individuals in this game that have that happen to them. Getting out of possible spoiler territory and back to the topic at hand, would I recommend this game to anybody? And definitively, yes. This game is so good, it fully grabbed my attention for the full 12 plus hours I played it, and in my opinion, it was worth the $20 I spent on it. Now, the game is currently on sale on Steam, and I'm not sure if it will be on sale by the time this video releases. However, this game is also included on Game Pass, and it was also free on Epic for a short time, so if paying for the game seems a bit much, there are other options for you to be able to play it. But anyways, as always guys, I've been Dingus, you've been you, and this has been Dredge, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.